right, we are live. So, leave the poll question up for a couple more minutes, but it looks like you guys want a different poll question. I've got a couple of poll questions I've got in mind, but obviously RCR has got a new driver dipping into the Australian V8 Supercars. I think this is going to be a different deal altogether with Mr. Brodie. I can't say his last name right, so I'm not even going to try to. Brodie Bush. They call him Bush. But let's see here. It's going to be a different deal because it's not a street course. So there won't be the advantage and experience there. It's going to be a different because it's a course that the Cup Series has gone to before. So the drivers have setups and some knowledge. They've got some laps on it. So it's not going to be a similar setup to the SVG deal. So I think it's just I think it's going to be a different deal. That being said, I think he's still going to have a good race. I think he'll still have a good opportunity to get a good finish. But I just don't see it being the same as the SVG deal at all. But let's see here. Poll up here is, do you like sriracha? Sriracha is hot sauce. For those who don't know what sriracha is, it's made in California by Hung Fui or something like that is the name of the company, Hui Fung. But yeah, it is American hot sauce, and it's got a little bit of garlic. It's got a little bit of sweet to it. So I'll leave that poll up there for a little bit, and then I'll ask. It looks like you guys want me to ask the IndyCar question. But let's see here. Actually, I got to close out this poll so I can read, and then I'll start another one. So we're ending the poll. Looks like it won. Yes, most people do, or a lot of people do like it, I should say. Napa Racing Fan says next poll should be Brickyard 400, Indy Road Course, or IRP. IRP isn't getting a cup date though without a major infrastructure upgrade to the facility. My vote would be for Cup to return to the oval of the Brickyard 400 and Trucks and Xfinity go to IRP. I think that would put most fans in a happy medium. So there you go. That sounds like a pretty good poll question. I'll ask that one. Then obviously I'm going to ask, do you think Martin Truex Jr. is going to retire after I ask this one? So let's see here. Want more? NDRC or IRP? Ask the community. Let's see what you guys think about that one. Let me shorten that one up so I can read here. Let's see here. Jimmy Schweitzer says this winless streak that Joey Logano has is concerning as a fan. I don't think it's too concerning. I mean, he's already won this season. And for the most part, I think he's been in R&D mode. I think they've recently just switched it to go back into competitive mode. I think they did all the R&D they wanted to really do. And he was competitive this weekend. It was a track position race. Nobody had anything for Martin Truex Jr. other than maybe Christopher Bell or Eric Almirola. We don't know how that would have played out if those guys hadn't have gotten into trouble and lost track position. But I wouldn't worry too much about Logano. Napa Racing fans saying Logano will be fine. Nobody thought he'd win the championship in 2018. Exactly. He plays the system. He plays the system, this particular playoff point system, in my opinion, better than anybody else. But let me finish Napa's thought here. In 2018, when he was going against the big three, he only had one super speedway win at Talladega that regular season. Same with this season. So, yeah, he's sort of doing what Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson did back in the day. You get a couple of wins early, and then they would sort of R&D for the rest of the season, or at least a portion of the season. I think the same thing will be the case for Joey Logano. He's just basically R&Ding. Him and Paul Wolf. Paul Wolf knows what he's doing as well. No slouch there for sure. Logano is very sneaky. Doesn't really get talked about a lot, but is up toward the front when he finishes, kind of like how Kevin Harvick was the closer for so many years. DW, where did he come from? I mean, that's a fair point. Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick do, as far as that goes, and to a lesser extent, Austin Dillon. They just show up at the end of races, and you're like, where did this dude come from? So they do whatever they got to do to get a good finish. Let's see. Brickyard, I agree, Napa. That was always the best NASCAR racing at Indy. So it looks like Indy Oval right now, 71%. And I think most people would be happy. I do agree with you. I think most people would be happy with the trucks and Xfinity Series going into IRP. Shaw says, what's Sriracha? Sriracha is hot sauce. In between lanes, what's up, Baloney Burger? What's up, in between lanes? Good to see you on here. Don't lie, BB. We all know that Plymouth was idling. I say, Kyle Nicole. So, yeah, on Twitter, I posted there was a client that came into the basically the place I work adjacent to, and they had a nice looking Plymouth Barracuda. I don't know what year it was or anything like that, but there was a guy mowing grass in the background, and as I was loading the video up to Twitter, I was like, "Oh man, I hope they don't think this is what the car sounds like when it's idling." That lawnmower in the background there. Ian Fisher, Jamie Schweitzer. It always seems to me like Penske runs a lot of mid-season R&D, prepping for deep playoff runs for that 22. Yeah, that's what I think is happening too, Ian Fisher. I think you're right on the money with that one. Napa Racing Fan says, wish SVG could have run with the Project 91 at the Indy Road Course. That would have been pretty cool. What a field that would have been with SVG Button. Kobayashi. I forgot Kobayashi is racing that one too, so that's going to be really cool. And Kostecki. I think that I can't say his last name right, but I'm going with Kostecki. But they call him Bush. And really, he came onto the scene recently. I'm going to do a video about it that hopefully will be uploaded by the morning. But he really came on this season. He had some decent finishes, finished in like 7th and 9th in the Australian V8 Supercar, or they call it just Supercars now. I'm always going to call it V8 Supercars. But until recently, but this year he broke out. He's got 2 or 3 wins this year, and he's got 4 seconds and 4 top 3s in however many races. I think in 13 races or 14 races, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm getting my math right. I'm a casual super fans observer, but he's definitely this is the best year he's had so far. Driving for Repco Racing. What's up, BB? Tabasco all the way, says T-Vance. T-Vance, a Tabasco fan. Let's see. Mark Barnum, good evening all. What's up, Mark Barnum? Jamie Schweitzer, you're on the air. Yep, I am on. Good evening all, watching Starship Troopers in the background. Would you like to know more? LOL. Starship Troopers is a classic, an absolute classic. The more you know about it, the better it gets as far as backstory and even just who's in it, who's in the movie, who ended up being big stars and stuff like that later on. Pretty cool. Say Kyle says, I don't understand how we forgot that the Indy Oval sucked for years and now people think it will be amazing. I got a friend to watch his first race, the 08 tire debacle. That was by far the worst one. And it was the last race he ever watched. Yeah, so what I think they should do is just alternate it. One year they do the road course, one year they do the oval. I think that would be really cool. And it would add prestige to winning the oval race because it would be, in my opinion, what people consider the actual Brickyard, the actual crown jewel. Robin Mark says, howdy from Canada. Got a headache, so I'm mostly going to be listening. Truex won't retire. Then he can buy a bigger boat. Chase won't make it. And Dale Jr. Ranted about rain tires. I haven't seen the Junior rant about rain tires yet. But the other stuff I have caught up with. So good points there, Robin. TJ Morshed said, put my scanner on Almirola's frequency. And he literally wrecked 30 seconds later. I think I jinxed him. If it wasn't you, it was definitely Mr. Darian from Black Flags Matter. Because he tweeted out, this is the only track that Eric Almirola runs good at. And literally 5 minutes later, he wrecked. So the Darian curse or the Darian jinx, whatever you want to call it, is undefeated. RCR, Brodie Bush, kind of sounds like a sandwich to me. So there you go. You'll have 2 Bushes that race. You'll have Brodie Bush and you'll have Kyle Busch. So there you go. Mark Barnum, I can't even say that hot sauce is the best. Guacamaya. I'm going to go Guacamaya. Final answer. Lock it in. So yeah, Guacamaya looks like 80% for the Indy Oval. So I'm going to go ahead and close that one out. I don't think it's going to get any closer. So let's see. I'm going to start one more. We'll do the Truex one now. I'm going to go yes, no. Does he retire after this year? And I'm going to add a third option. I will say this. I think people are making too much of the comments he made because that's just how Martin Truex talks. He's kind of stoic, kind of low-key. he doesn't put a lot of emotion in things. He's not like YouTubers trying to have a positive attitude all the time and being super positive. Hey, welcome to the channel. He's not like that. So he's just more laid back, and I think he just laid it out there. I think he really just doesn't know if he's going to do it or not because he's in his 40s. It is a commitment. It is 30 something weekends out of your year. It is really something to commit to. So you got to stay in shape. There's sim work. There's a lot of travel. So there's a lot of things he's weighing. So I don't think he's leaning one way or the other. I think he's really just thinking about it, and he doesn't know which way he's going to lean. So I think that's where he's at with it. But interesting to see what you guys think in the comments. And like I said, the options are only if he wins the title, no, and yes. Right now, 25 only if he wins the title, and 25 yes, and 50% saying no. And there's also the factor that I think a lot of us don't want him to retire because it's Martin freaking Truex Jr. And he's a pretty awesome race car driver, pretty stand-up dude from everything I've seen from him. I don't hate the Indy road course for NASCAR, but I've had enough of the Turn 1 chaos. I was there for the Brickyard 400. Staying though. Yeah, I can understand that. Like they need to do something. Maybe do a different restart zone or something like that. Excited for Pocono. Love that track. Yeah, Pocono, I think it's going to be a good time. Hopefully there's a good race there. It doesn't always end up like that, but I do like the track. I like the Tricky Triangle. I'm a fan of Pocono too. Ian Fisher, there needs to be a hot dog sponsor on Kobayashi's hood. That would be pretty funny. Juan Camillo, these polls need to be more interesting. Doing my best, man. Juan Camillo, hi, by the way, good evening. So what do you think? You let me know what you think would be a good poll there, Juan. In between the lanes, I'm calling it BB. Kyle Rowdy Busch is going to Victory Lane at Pocono for the win. Number 100 for Kyle Busch Motorsports this weekend, since it's his 5th and final truck race for the season. I'm pretty sure that's a good bet there. I would say he's gonna, if he doesn't finish first, he'll definitely be top 5. But yeah, I think he's gonna have something for him there for sure. He gets around that joint pretty good, no doubt about it. Never Reason fan saying, "Yay, someone who finally loves my home track." The dumbest they made the Brickyard 400 was making it the regular season finale on week 1 of NFL at the same time. I still don't understand that decision. Yeah, anytime it's NFL week 1, I would almost like to see NASCAR have another off weekend for the opening day for the NFL because it's just it's almost like a national holiday over here in the States. I want to see Kaulig Racing replace what Gibbs did at New Hampshire with Chandler Smith getting his first Xfinity win Saturday. The Dinger getting his first Oval Cup and sending Kaulig into the playoffs. I'll replicate what Gibbs did. Yeah, that would be something there. I think Chandler Smith will get into the playoffs either way. Dinger, AJ Allmendinger could definitely get it done. I mean, he's an absolute ace at road courses, so that definitely could happen. They literally went head to head for the Indianapolis Colts game at home for one of those 2 years. Oh man, that's not going to be a big win there. Let's see. Chase Elliott's opportunities for the win is rapidly decreasing. We shall see. And once again, I can't even imagine the pain of being a Colts fan. I'd like to throw that in there, Napa. So I feel for you. It was rough being a 49ers fan for such a long period of time. But have Peyton Manning and go on those runs and then just be I don't know, just not being good after that. It's definitely got to be a bummer. Let's see. I live about an hour and a half away from Indy. I've been to 3 Brickyards and the IROC race. Got to see Harvick win and catch his tires on fire. I hated the oval at the end and wanted the road course. Never been. I want to go to an Indy 500. Brickyard 400 is up there too, but I definitely want to attend the Indy 500. I'm going to try to get up there and watch Larson do his deal. What's up, Mr. Pearson? Cheers to you as well. Say, Kyle, the next poll, Truex, should Indy RC be considered a crown jewel? Yeah, that's. I think that's a fair question. T Van saying hit the like button. So yeah, if y'all want to hit the like button, it would be much appreciated. If NASCAR or ISC and SMI is willing to resurrect Wilkesboro and Rockingham, I don't see why they wouldn't upgrade IRP. I mean, that's a fair statement. It just depends on what kind of traction you get, where their motivations lie. That's probably the best way of putting it. But yeah, if they wanted to upgrade anything, they'll definitely upgrade it. Let's see. Indy road course was okay, but had problems of the oncoming of the track coming apart. Yeah, the curbing ripped up that one year. Back to the oval would be a bit better. Yeah, I just think they should rotate it every year. That way, it makes either track you like, it makes that track special because you know you're going to miss it every other year. After seeing Truex comment, I kind of wonder if he will retire. He's just a low key guy, so I wouldn't read too much into that. That's just how he talks. He's never going to get too up or too down. So I really didn't take anything away from that. Monday money, Martin retires from 2024. Nemechek replaces him. They switch to the 19, back to the 18 in 2025. I think you're partially right. I don't think John Hunter Nemechek has the money coming in behind him to go in there. I think it's going to be Sammy Smith going in there. If anybody if he retires, first off, Sammy Smith, I think, will go in there. Corey Heim doesn't have quite as much funding, I think, as Sammy Smith. So I think Sammy Smith would be the first pick, then maybe Corey Heim, then John Hunter Nemechek would be third, probably on that list, if I'm guessing. Even BB just smashed the like button, says Jay Campbell. Appreciate you, Jay Campbell. I thought it was a new car, making him think about it. I don't know. He seems to have figured out the new car now, so I don't know. But he raised good points. Says shout out to Michael McDowell and his team this season. They have to be the most low budget team in the top 16. It's possible. It's possible. I'd have to take a look at the top 16 off the top of my head, but yeah, for sure, they stand out as being for sure the most low budget team right now. Although Justin Haley and colleague are knocking on the door, so they might slide in there too and give them a run for their money. Shout out to Michael McDowell and his team this season. I just read that one. I don't think either Denny Sucks, Hamlin, or Truex retire. Yeah, I don't think Hamlin's retiring. I don't think he's even thinking about retiring. But Truex is the only wild card there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know which way he's leaning. So he's running really good. I'd hate to see him retire when he's running this good. But there is something to be said about going out while you're on top as well. Pocono would be I like the way Richard Petty went out. He raced until he literally couldn't race anymore. So that's what I would do. Pocono would be a great playoff race. I think so too, because it would give more emphasis to it. I think it would. Anytime you get a track into the playoffs, it's obviously going to be a bigger deal. Scanner talk at New Hampshire. Talk about brake pressure on different ends of the track. Is this a handle by foot in car adjusting? I don't know. I think it's just how they had them set up. You got to get them to the right temperature for them to work the best. And some guys use more brake than other guys. There could be all kinds of things going on with that. Brickyard, it's hard to say without knowing what the setup is, and it just gets super tricky. So I don't know. I'm sure they had something going on, but what they actually had going on, I couldn't tell you with any type of certainty. I would like to ask Rick Allen how Truex is a lifelong New Englander from New Jersey. Says Napa Racing fan. So yeah, when they said that, I was like, I'm not like super knowledgeable about the Northeast, but I was like, I don't think New Jersey is considered part of New England. So when he said that, I was confused. I was like, "Is New Jersey part of New England?" So yeah, I was with you. I'm glad to know that I'm not crazy, and New Jersey is not part of New England. But yeah, Ryan Priest, fellow New Englander. I'm surprised he didn't run any better than he did, though. Joey Logano carrying the flag for New Englanders as well with the second place finish. So at least you had Jolo up there. I wonder how Truex wife is doing health wise. For me, that would be a big factor. Wasn't his wife, just was like his longtime girlfriend, and they have split up, but I think she's doing okay. She is making a lot of posts on social media, so hopefully she's okay, but I don't know. But yeah, they split up right before the season for, I have no idea. And I try to stay out of that side of it. KFB racing SRX this weekend too. Yeah, that's going to be really cool too. Always looking forward to the Thursday events. They're always a good time. Can't we just try a high drafting package at Indy Oval one more time like the Xfinity Series did, if that's even possible? I mean, they need to try something at the Oval because the Oval would get stretched out and people would complain about it being boring. Now people are complaining about the road course. So no matter what you do at Indy, somebody's going to complain. And then there's going to be the people that complain that race cars that aren't Indy cars are racing at Indianapolis. We need a street course to come to Colorado at some point and Homer what Truex and Visser did in 2017. Oh yeah, for sure. That was without a doubt the most low budget team. because they were just fielding $26 million a year for Gibbs equipment. Truex wins the championship, comes back, and it's crazy that $26 million was a low budget team. Truex comes. One wise guy says Truex wins the championship, comes back for another year, then goes fishing. Yeah, he's definitely all about his fishing. He's a sportsman for sure. Chase misses the chase, says Shy. I don't know. I think he's like 50-50. I think it's 50-50 with Chase Elliott. Truex only took a bite of the claw that was strapped shut. It would have kissed the lobster mouth in Canada. A screech in is kissing a codfish. Then drinking a Newfie Screech. I love fishing, says Robin Mark. So there you go. Let's see. One wise guy. Pump the merch store. So there we go. Let's for sure do that. Let me copy that. Do a little paste here. If you want to support the channel, there is the merch store. We got t-shirts like this one. We got hats like this one. And we got stickers. I don't have the stickers close enough to me, but we got stickers too. So if you want to support the channel, feel free to do it. I would appreciate your support. Napa Racing Fan says Watkins Glen or bust for Chase Elliott. No idea where Alex Bowman can win. Best finish since coming back from the injury was 12th in his first base back, the 600. He didn't finish too far. I think he was like 14th or something like that in this one. So he wasn't too bad. He just hasn't been too good. So hopefully they get it back on track, but you never know. 2 Hendrick and 3 Stewart Haas cars currently out of the playoffs. What a time to be alive, says TJ Moorshed. I noticed the merch in today's video, said Robin Marks. Yep, I was wearing the t-shirts in today's video. Appreciate it. But yeah, it is pretty crazy that every year it seems like all 4 Hendrick cars get in. So it is. I guess it makes it a lot more interesting. I'm not going to pull against anybody, but it does make it more interesting when all 4 of one team doesn't get in. I would love to see a year when it's just a good mix of everybody. That would be probably the most watched one if that ever happened. I think Goodyear should not be the only tire in NASCAR Cup Series, says Jamie Schweitzer. Well, they had that and they went away from it. They just don't want another tire war because they claim safety and stuff like that. So I don't know if we'll see another Goodyear, Firestone, Hoosier, or anybody like that compete ever again. But they did have it back in the day. Truex hates big decisions. He ain't made one. The longer he waits, the more perks they promise him, especially if he's the champ. Bass Pro will give him a bigger boat, says Robin Marks. Hey, that could be a way to get him to come back if Joe Gibbs wants him to come back. Get Bass Pro to be like, hey, if you come back, we'll give you a bigger boat to go fishing off of when you retire. Shah is agreeing with Jamie Schweitzer. I'd love Truex to win and walk away with the championship and then come back a year later with Junior Motorsports and Cole Pern in the Cup Series. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool if Cole Pern was the crew chief at JRM and they decided to move up the Cup and they brought Truex back. That would pretty much be a dream team there. One source suppliers is garbage, says Shah. I agree with you. The old one source deal is no bueno. Dad took my advice and dumped the excessive amount of money on the Harvick Bushlight Apple diecast on your right at the New Hampshire this weekend. One of the best Harvick schemes in my opinion. Yeah. This is without a doubt. As far as the 4-car goes, one of my favorite 4-car schemes. My favorite Harvick scheme of all time is the Flame Licked Bush Clash car. I forget what year. Is it either 2003 or 2004? That thing was sick. Let's see. Suppliers should compete just like teams. That's capitalism. I agree with you, Shah. I was against Noah not that long ago. Now I feel bad for him. Les Mis, yeah, he's had a rough go of it. Hopefully next year he'll be better. Stephen Emilio, his personal life took a big time change last year with Sherry. You noticed that no one speaks about it. Yeah, he asked everybody not to talk about it, so I think everybody's honoring that at least before the season starts, if I remember correctly. I agree with Shaw, says T-Van. Jamie Schweitzer says, I predict Eric Almirola and Truex both retire, surprisingly to all. That would be huge from a silly season standpoint. There's no doubt about that, because it would open up more rides, and then you would have more movement, and that opens up another potential ride for Shane Van Gisbergen to get into the Cup Series. So if that happened, it would be major. The guys that crab fish Alaska do not live in Alaska. You go fish the season and go home. Yeah, that's I have no idea, but that sounds probably pretty accurate. I don't think a lot of people live in Alaska. It seems to it's the last sort of frontier area in the states, at least. If you want to call it the states, it is it is barely touching, I guess. Truex just passed Dale Jarrett via Canada. Truex just passed Dale Jarrett and Joey Logano, currently on all the all-times win list, tied with Kurt Busch now at 34. That's pretty cool. And even more impressively, he's done it in the latter half of his career. Obviously, it took him a while to get in good equipment and to figure out cars and stuff like that. So it's really been kind of cool that the latter half of his career has been the productive, as far as wins go, productive side of it. You can be a fisherman and live wherever you want, says Shaw. That's a fact. Are there any odds of both Bowman and Elliott making the playoffs? Well, I mean, they both have the ability to win races. Any of these races left, I could easily see one of those guys winning, especially Pocono. Pocono's another track like New Hampshire. If you get a hold of it, you have a really good chance of winning. Like, you just got to hit the setup. So anybody can win Pocono. You just got to hit the setup. Monday Martin, a.k.a. Martin the Outdoorsman. Truex Jr. is the number 2 driver behind Kyle Rowdy Busch. I don't really dislike any drivers. Also like Denny, the delivery guy. Hamlin says in between the lanes. Yeah, they're all good drivers, and they all got plenty of fans. They've all got plenty of detractors, except for Truex. Martin Truex Jr. doesn't have a ton of haters, but the other two do. I did not know that Truex broke with his girlfriend, says Shaw. Yeah, he just either late in the offseason or just before the season started, the announcement was made. I can't remember quite that far back, but it was definitely this year. As hard as it is to be a Colts fan, us Mark fans know a special kind of pain. No one else knows, says Matt Hunter. Talking about being a Mark Martin fan, I think real fishermen live in Iowa. Hey, there you go. I have not visited Iowa, so I don't know, but it sounds. I'll go with it. Mark Barnum. I think we see any Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Bubba Wallace style brake failures into turn one. Man, I hope not. Say Kyle, those are crazy. If it does happen, though, I hope the drivers have enough awareness to put it toward the wall instead of taking it to the infield and getting the bigger hit on the back end of it. Nope, 100%. Chase does not win and misses the chase, says Shaw. He called that early on, so we will see if that comes true. What's up with Bowman? Do you think he is driving injured? I don't think he's driving injured. I think he's just off right now. BB reverse luck, says Shaw. I hate Chase, or do I? Says Shaw. So there you go. There you go. You never know. Jay Campbell, a good poll would be which race the last 4 was the best. All 4 have been good aside from the weather. Yeah, that's a pretty fair point. Cassandra saying, hi, y'all from Sandpoint, Idaho. What's up, Cassandra? What's up, Sandpoint? I jinx anyone I cheer for, says Shaw. Mark Barnum saying, what's up to Cassandra? It's probably going to be a Final Four of Gibbs and Hendricks. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think that'll be too far off, one wise guy. You never know, though. I wouldn't be surprised if NASCAR moves from Goodyear in the next 10 to 15 years, but there will never be the 2 tire manufacturers on the track at the same time. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if they'll move from Goodyear ever. For whatever reason, Goodyear seems really happy with the relationship. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever see another tire war just because of the safety aspect of it. Napa says, would you change New Hampshire's current configuration by adding banking or leave it as it is? It is flat, but I'd leave it as it is. New Hampshire only has 1 date now. I think it's fine like it is. I think NASCAR just needs to figure out the short track package. I think the racing on the track was really good. I think Martin Truex Jr. and sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to have races like this. Martin Truex Jr. and his team just figured out the setup, and they took off and they were gone. But you saw throughout the field that there was plenty of passing. I think Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson passed every car in the field twice at points in that race. Mark Barnum, Bass Pro Boats are junk. Alumacraft is where it's at. So there you go. Mark Barnum throwing in for can't even say it. Alumacraft. Say that real fast. One wise guy saying what's up to Cassandra. Ian Fisher, I loved hearing Joe Gibbs saying he told Truex, you're making money, having fun, and winning. I mean, yeah, what else is there to life, you know? Maybe Truex has different plans for that, though. Maybe he's done enough winning. Maybe he's done enough making money, and maybe he's had enough fun. I don't know. Howdy, Cassandra from Iowa, says Robin Marks. Hi, wise guy. Wise guy saying, kind of funny, watch Coach beg Martin to stay at the press conference. Yeah. Definitely a different tone this year trying to get Martin Truex Jr. Let's just stir the shit pot, shall we? Definitely a different tone this year than he had trying to keep Kyle Busch there. I didn't see him begging Kyle Busch to stay, so it is what it is. Shit stirred. There you go. Nobody thought Martin Truex Jr. would be a champion or a future Hall of Famer in 2015, 2007, 2015. He had 3 wins with 3 different teams, DEI, Michael Waltrip Racing, Furniture Row in 9 years, did make the Final Four in 2015. So, yeah, there you go. Like I said, he exploded. He exploded later in his career, and that's it's been pretty cool to see. Truex wins championships. Denny sucks, says Josh Strickland. I got to drive my buddy's late model in a 50-lap race. It was awesome. Hey, there you go, Josh Strickland. How'd you do? Let us know. More importantly, you had fun. It doesn't matter where you finished. You had a blast, so it's all good. He has the most wins of any driver since 2016 with 31 wins. Late bloomer. But what a turnaround of a career for Truex. Yeah, 100%. And part of that, no doubt, he finally got with a big team at the right time when that big team had good equipment. So that's another thing there. And also, Furniture Row, small team, but they were buying good equipment from Gibbs at the time. Steven D'Amelio Jr. says, I hope they don't get in. Bowman and Chase, they would hurt the sport. What about lower budget teams making it? Wouldn't help it. I think it would be big time. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If Colleague can get in with Justin Haley and the 34 of Michael McDowell can get in there, I think that makes for a more interesting playoff, in my opinion. But I could, opinions vary. Robin Marks, Lake of the Woods is fishing capital of North America. Muskie, walleye, pickerel. I fought a fish and impaled a hook in my thumb. There's a wall at the hospital with all the tackle. Doctors removed. Oh, that's pretty funny. Robin Marks, I pulled my hook out with pliers and kept fishing. There you go. I mean, that's what you do in that situation. You keep the Leatherman handy, or you got your little fishing kit. Some people just carry the little fishing kit with them. I either have a Swiss Army knife or a Leatherman with me pretty much at all times. And if I'm carrying a Swiss Army knife, I have a small set of pliers with me just for situations like that. Matt Hunter from Indiana. Let's see. Not Iowa, Idaho. Oops, says Robin Marks. I got a sturgeon in Alberta. Hey, there you go. I got him a sturgeon there. Napa Racing fan, I'm still pushing for Iowa Speedway on the NASCAR schedule. I don't care about oversaturation of markets or if it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a good racetrack and fans support it. Go. I think a lot of people are in favor of getting Iowa a race, no doubt about it. Now that's fishing. Says Shaw. Matt Hunter says, I agree with Eric Estep that Stuart Haas racing number 10 would be the best fit for Shane Van Gisbergen. Maybe. It just depends on what opens up and what's out there. It's really going to be interesting because I think there's going to be some big moves in the offseason. I think there's some stuff. I think there's potential of another team to come up. And the reason I say that is if Andretti Autosport, I would agree with him with the context of this. If Andretti Autosport, if the rumors are true and they buy out Spire or join up with Spire, however you want to call it, right? So if they do that, I think that would be a better landing spot for Shane Van Gisbergen because then he would be the absolute number one over there. I don't know if he's going to be a number one over at Stewart Haas Racing because you got Chase Briscoe that's got legacy there. And you've got Josh Berry, who Tony Stewart wanted really bad. I don't know how bad Tony Stewart would want SVG. But if you go to Spire, you become the number one. And my analogy for this, it would be Ross Chastain being the number one at Trackhouse. Even though Daniel Suarez was there longer, I feel like Ross Chastain is clearly the number one guy at Trackhouse right now. And that's taking nothing away from Daniel Suarez. I'm just saying that from the sponsors that Ross Chastain has. He's the clear number one over at Trackhouse. I think SVG being the clear number one at Spire, if Andretti Autosport buys into Spire, I think that would be a better fit. Other than that, though, I would say for sure probably Stewart Haas Racing would be the better fit if that other scenario doesn't happen. So silly season, a lot of if, ands, buts, and craziness. You can create whatever you want to there. So, but yeah, Stewart Haas Racing number 10 car is definitely a good car for whoever lands there. If Eric Amarola retires, so many ifs in silly season. I love it. It's crazy. Look at my icon, 50-pound catfish, says Mark Barnum. For sure. Good icon. Good catch there. SHR is done at the end of the year, says William Wagaman. There's a lot of people saying SHR is done. I don't believe that, though. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Fishing is winning, says Robin Marks. T-Van says, I just watched the video, and Tony Stewart owns the most expensive house in Indiana. Wow, says T-Van. I mean, kind of makes sense. He's got to be a billionaire, at least close to it. William Wagaman, Haas needs the money for a Formula One team, says William. Brickyard Brickhead, my difference of short track is any track Indy cars can't run on, says Brickyard. Hey, so there you go. One wise guy says stir it up. I liked how NBC showed challenges throughout the field, says Man Cave Chronicles. I did too. And I think that's the biggest deviation from Fox. Fox would just show whoever's leading for too long, and they wouldn't show any battles in the middle of the field. Tell Coach if he needs a driver, I'll run that 19 for $80K in health insurance, says Kyle. Hey, no problem, man. I'll crew chief it for you, brother. We'll give him a heck of a deal there. I'll crew chief it for $70,000, so we'll be good to go. $75,000. Shy said plus travel. Robin Marks, we don't keep them. Just about pulling up a monster, says Shaw. Philip Canavan, it would be good to see Truex go out on top of the world instead of near the bottom. Yeah, I think it would be cool to see him go out on top. So if he wins the championship, I would like to see him retire. I'd like to see anybody that's in their latter stages of their careers just go ahead and retire if they win a championship. Like Denny Hamlin, if he won the championship this year, he should immediately retire. Like that would just be like a walk-off. That'd be pretty cool. Gene Haas is not hurting for money, says Mark Barnum. I'm an HMS fan, and I want Bowman and Elliott to win to make the playoffs. I don't think that's happening, though. Slim chance still to make it in on points. Yeah, they like if either one of those guys won like 2 stages and got a top 5 in a race, like basically what Truex did this weekend, if you got anywhere close to 60 maximum points, like that would change everything, right? Or if they just get a win. So I mean, that anything can change anything. Started last, finished 5th out of 16 cars. Time of my life, says Josh Strickland. There you go. Look at all that. Look at all the passing points you got too, man. And I respect you. I respect you starting last because you probably qualified. Probably not last, but since you knew it was, I'm assuming it was your first time. You started in the back and worked your way through the field. That's a stand-up move. Jay Campbell, can you picture Larson picking up that lobster? Laughing my butt off, says Jay Campbell. Yeah, I think he would have sort of a similar face to Denny Hamlin, if I'm guessing, but who knows? I wanted Larry Lobsters to bite Burton, says William Wagaman. Lobster is the same size as Larson. That's pretty funny. That dude is tiny. Yeah, Kyle Larson. That's like a real life height, and Richard Petty. That's a real life height. So look at that. Look at that disparity. So let's see here. Dale Jr. also ranted about the name of the lobster. Couldn't call it Loudon. He only would call it Larry. So yeah, that was. I did hear that. Like I play stuff in the background while I'm working. I heard that, and I was just like, I didn't even know what he was talking about. I was like, by the time I'd gotten to what he was talking about, I was like, what is he talking about? So I guess that's what he was talking about. NASCAR should just up the number of charters from 36 to 40. I agree with that. I would say 40 charters and then 2 open spots. So you have a 42 car field, but you only have 40 charters or 38 charters. But yeah, I agree with you, Napa Racing fan. But I still want to have 2 open spots for an open team. It would solve the supply and demand issue for charters. Dale Jr. and Andretti would have a way easier chance to enter in the Cup. I agree with you. So I've always wondered about the winners do with the lobsters. I would build an aquarium, says Shaw. They can do whatever they want to with the lobster. They just win the lobster. You don't have to eat it. You can keep it as a pet if you wanted to. Is it possible for NASCAR to strip Go Fast of their charter for coming in last for 3 seasons in a row? Yeah, it's absolutely in the rules. They just haven't done anything like that yet. I buried my lobster. Buried with my lobster, Rock Lobster, says a B-52 song. So there you go. Rock Lobster by the B-52s. More famous for their other song, Love Shack, Tin Roof, baby. Watched Deegan's video. She was networking BK after the race. RFK needs to start an Xfinity Series program. I mean, that would be pretty cool, and it would probably help out RFK because she would definitely get that thing funded pretty quick. So that would be probably a pretty good outlet for her. That house is for sale. You need to go buy it, BB. Yeah, sure. Tell you what, we'll print up a bunch of T-shirts. Baloney Burger headquarters moves to Indiana. I buy Tony Stewart's $1 million house, and We'll go do it live from Indiana every third Sunday. Just gonna have to sell a bunch of T-shirts to make that happen. Let's see. Let's do it, BB. I weigh 120 pounds. So stagger that weight, ballast wherever you will make me go fast. Kyle and Kyle, 2027 champs, no doubt about it. If not on Earth 1, we'll definitely have it locked down on Earth 2. Because if we start the season off poorly, they won't even know about the Earth 2 deal. So we'll just, if we start off poorly, we'll go hardcore and get the Earth 2 dubs. We will just make a couple laps and park it. That way the car is always good for next week. And we won't even have to do anything. We'll just we'll get a good beer sponsor and we'll just hang out in the stands, go through the tunnel, hang out in the stands with the fans. So it's win-win either way. If we're not in that title hunt, we're just going to quit and have fun and win the points on Earth 2. So many better female races, in my opinion, says Shah. There might be. I'm not disagreeing necessarily with you there, but there aren't any better funded female racers. So she's got the business side of it figured out. And as long as she's got the business side figured out, she's got plenty of time to learn the racing side. And the only thing, in my opinion, she's really missing on the racing side, she's got to get better at racing racing in a crowd, and she's got to get better on her restarts. If she would get better at her restarts, she wouldn't be in the crowd as often. And the crowd she would be in would be race car drivers or truck drivers in this case that don't drive as kamikaze, a whole bunch of squirrels, whatever you want to call them. She wouldn't be back there in that type of traffic. So really, if she works on her restarts, that's the biggest thing, the biggest weakness I see in her game. And driving in a crowd, like sometimes when she drives in a crowd, she doesn't know who she's racing around, which is something you got to learn too. NBC was funny this weekend with Lobsters, Rick Allen making Dave Burns sing the Beatles song. Yeah, they were on point. And Rick Allen saying Truex is a lifelong New Englander from New Jersey. Fox is just corny and embarrassing. Yeah. I like the idea of RFK and Xfinity, says one wise guy. Yeah, I think it would be a pretty good deal, especially if they got Haley Deegan. That would be a marketing win-win. Yes, let's go. 42-car field back, says Shah. I would love to see a 42-car field back. Truex wins the championship, then comes back in 2025 to fill seats on Junior's team. That would be pretty cool. But no more suppliers, or at least single-source suppliers. Let's see, Mark Barnum, Shah, but none of them have cash like Deegan, says Mark Barnum. So, yeah, that's making the same point that I made. I don't mind 36 charters, but the field should be capped by available pit stalls, 43 cars, unchartered teams with actually try to show up if that were the case. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. Cash is overrated, says Shah. It is overrated until you got to until the paycheck comes for all the people helping on the race car. Then it's not rated highly enough, in my opinion. But that's me griping about work. Let's Live Fast Motorsports could be in danger of losing their charter. I think they stay though. Yeah, so they've been doing weird shenanigans where they'll sell their charter and then buy Rick Ware's charter. So they've been swapping charters and doing weird stuff like that. So they found a loophole. So NASCAR needs to close that loophole. Napa. Shah says, I want talent. A lot of people do. But some teams, I mean, it's part of it. It's part of the deal. Some teams will take money. It was Hannah Deegan's birthday yesterday, says William Wagaman. Haley Deegan's birthday, maybe. Qualified 10th, started at the rear to stay out of the way. No cautions, says Josh Strickland. There you go. I respect it, man. I think that's really cool. And congratulations on that 5th place, top 5. Did a good job. Stay Kyle, not Cal, says Kate the redhead from the B-52s is the reason I have a thing for redheads, LOL, and Rome is by far their best song. Yeah, Rome if you want to. Roam around the world. That's a good song too, for sure. Danica, the dude, brought cash too. Yeah, for sure. Like that's part of the equation. You got to have both talent and cash. But mainly cash, as has been said by Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Tony Stewart, of course, said what he said, but Tony Stewart has also had cash drivers too, because obviously he can say what he wants to, but he had Danica Patrick there. Danica Patrick was clearly a cash driver, so it is what it is. Denny thought Denny sucked. He was so dejected about how bad he was and how great Truex was. I like that when he wins, he crushes the field. He's like a Buddhist, gets in the zone and just goes with the flow for sure. Build a team on talent, says Shah. I mean, I wish it was like that, but it's just not like that back. Like it was like that back in the day, but we're in a different era, unfortunately. I agree with you in principle, but in practice, like you can't do that right now, unfortunately. Sponsors used to sponsor teams. Now sponsors sponsor drivers, and therein lies your problem. But how are you going to stop that from happening? Let's see. Monday morning, Monday Money Martin says Napa racing fan, Rock Lobster, ching ching. Danica, should never have left Indy cars. I'm not going to say she never should have left, but she should have come to the Cup Series a different way. She should have spent more time learning how a stock car races instead of just getting the Cup as fast as she could. Half the season we'll have a beer sponsor. The other half we will have cruise line funding secure at HMS. I won't have crap on us on Earth too, says Kyle. Without a doubt, we're gonna wreck shop. Let's see. One wise guy. I could live fast. Could the Live Fast charter be stripped by NASCAR for coming last 3 seasons in a row? It could be. It could be. But like I said, they found a loophole and they've been working it here so far. Rick Ware has at least. So see, Alex Doyle, let's be real here. Women don't get the same equipment men get. And it's not fair, but I believe that nobody wants to get beat by a girl. I don't know about the equipment. I think the equipment is the same, but you do bring up a good point that I have seen, at least at the lower levels. I don't know how it is at the higher levels. But you'll see guy drivers race girl drivers way harder because they don't want to get passed by the girl. They don't want to be embarrassed by that. It's a fragile ego thing, but it does exist and it is real. I have heard multiple drivers talking shit to each other, like you got passed by the girl. You don't want to get passed by the girl. So they do have a harder time passing cars, and that's why I have no problem with Hailie Deegan using the bumper. She should actually use it more often because let's just be real. If you see a girl, if some drivers see a girl behind them, they're going to be like, I'm not getting passed by the girl. And they're going to drive like Ryan Newman for like 42 laps or whatever until they change tires. Deegan has no fight. She just rides SRX 5th out of 12th. That's still midfield, says Shop. And that's what I'm saying. In ARCA and stuff like that, she was putting bumpers to people, but she has been a much more tame driver. So they have taken it out of her. They have taken the fight out of her. She needs to get that fight back. She needs to drive aggressively. That's when she was doing good things, when she was being, in my opinion, over-aggressive. But I'd rather have an over-aggressive driver than a driver that just does what the car can do. Let's see, 42 cars. Heck yeah, says Josh Strickland. Yeah, I'd love to see that. BB sponsored by PBR. Needs to happen, says MV. There you go. I'd be okay with that. Look out this Thursday, says William. Yeah, I think the SRX is going to be pretty good. I'd like to see, let's see here. Whoops. I'd like to see Danica get in an SRX car and race Deegan. It could happen. She's been in the booth for that. I think, was she in the booth there last year? Or was that in? I'm thinking about IndyCar probably. RFK, or maybe she was a Fox analyst or something. RFK does not need cash income. They need talent. Surprised the crew member over the years hasn't goosed his winning driver holding Larry the Lobster, says Brickyard Brickhead. New Jersey has lots of woods to hunt and lakes to fish. Watch the Sopranos, Pine Barrens in New Jersey, and it's all wilderness in parts. Yeah, for sure. That's a big part of why Martin Truex Jr. is a sportsman. RFK has sponsors and money locked up, says Shaw, but more is always helpful. Let's see. Ian Fisher, where is the hope for Rick Ware Racing? Who will be there in 2024? So yeah, sort of flying under the radar. Somebody could buy out the Rick Ware or buy into Rick Ware Racing too. So that's not necessarily off the table. I'm sure Live Fast would take a money injection as well if somebody wanted to team up and partner with them. Shaw, if it had went the last 20 laps, it would have been Newman, Tracy, and Deegan on the podium. Yeah, I think she at least gets fourth. I don't know about third, but she definitely was going to get fourth. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if she could have got to Paul Tracy without a caution, though. The freaking government funds RFK, says Shaw. Build submarines, my friend. Build submarines. Who was the YouTuber that called for Byron to miss the playoffs this year? I remember watching that, says Jay Campbell. Oh, man. He's a good dude, and I don't want to put him on the spot, but Iceberg said that William Byron wasn't going to make the playoffs this year, and he's been having fun with it. But I'm not a big. I don't like calling people out like that because he's a good dude. But yeah, he predicted, because eventually I'm going to be on it. I'm going to make predictions one year, and they're going to be like hardcore off. I think some of my predictions this year are hardcore off. I picked Noah Gragson to win the rookie battle over Ty Gibbs, so that's hardcore off too. So I'm not going to call out somebody else without calling myself out. So that's how I feel about that. SRX only got 320K viewers for Thursday Night Thunder. Maybe this week at Stafford will be better. ESPN deal. Let's see. ESPN deal doesn't look good for week one. Well, part of it's because it's on cable. Part of it is because Disney and ESPN are in massive collapse right now. I'm not going to get into that because that's sort of political, but there's a lot of factors in that. But part of it is because it's on cable. It used to be on CBS where everybody could watch it. So I didn't make too much about the numbers. I want to see what happens in a couple years. We got a super chat, so appreciate Robert Marks. Thank you very much. Let's see. I listen to Rock Lobster at least 3 times a week. I sing and dance. Your shirt rocks, but I can't buy one because my money is no good. Yeah, unfortunately, we have not figured out international shipping yet, but Canada will be the first one on that list. I will assure you of that. So we are working on it. Poll, what's your favorite fish to lake fish or to eat? I'm a catfish guy, so I like a Cajun catfish, but I don't know. I'm sort of boring as far as that goes. Let's see here though. We can go with that. I'll put walleye in there for. Oh, I can't spell. What's up with that? I'll put walleye in there for you. I'll go flounder. What's another one? They like herring over there in eastern North Carolina, but I'm not a big herring fan. I think they just like salt because all they do is salt it. What's another one? Rockfish. Rockfish is a big deal where I'm at. So we'll go rockfish. I'm gonna take flounder out and put bass. A lot of people do the bass deal. Or do people just sport fish bass? Do people actually eat bass? That's a good question. I can't say that I've ever eaten bass. I've seen a lot of people sport fish bass and throw it back in the water, but I don't think I've ever eaten bass. That's crazy, huh? Let's see here. Shaw, if it had went the last 20 laps, it would have been Newman. I just read that one. Government funds RFK, read that one. RFK is definitely in the upswing. They seem like they have gotten some speed. Yeah, Brad Keselowski has turned that program around. Alex Doyle, I agree with you. You got subs and Aerotech research companies. RFK is fine money wise. I'm not saying they aren't fine money wise. I never said that. I just said more money is always better when it comes to racing. SRX should have negotiated with CBS to stay there for Saturday nights. I think CBS canned SRX even with about 1 million viewers per race. Yeah, so, I mean, once it goes to cable, you're going to have a viewer drop off. I'm not too concerned with the numbers. I think you can get the numbers wherever you want them to be. If Live Fast, if you really market it and do it the right way, if Live Fast is as smart as they'll lease their charter for the next year to Trackhouse 91, it will finish top 30. So Live Fast keeps the charter and we'll get all-star drivers every week. Win-win. So say Kyle, yeah, that's 100% a great idea. So think about if they had done that this year. If they had done that this year, they're automatically in the playoffs with the SVG win, and there you go. They're good to go for another 3 or 4 years. CBS does not want to do auto racing at all, says William Wagaman. Could be. I don't know. I don't really keep up with that side of it. I feel bad for Thunder Road Speed. Yeah, that was terrible, man. I hate that they lost the race, but it is confirmed that they are going to get a race next year. People of Vermont, if SRX is still alive in 24, they have a date. I'm pretty sure SRX will be sticking around. I think they got a good thing going. The best thing for Deegan would be 2 or 3 girl rivalry. Would be good for NASCAR too. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. Let's see. In an ideal world, Spire would sell the 77, and Rick Ware Racing would sell a charter. Live Fast has improved, even though they're still last in owners' points. Says Napa Racing fan. They have improved. I will give them that. They're just not good yet. Could you see Harrison Burton winning at Watkins Glen? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't know how good. I don't remember him road racing. On Earth 2, I'm gonna say on Earth 2 he's got a shot, right? So, but Earth 1, I don't remember him. I don't remember him on road courses if he's any good in the Truck Series or Xfinity Series. I cannot recall, so I can't give you an honest answer about that without looking up some stats. Mexican Radio is my favorite. Robin Marks, eating iguana baby, says Shy. Napa, I don't have ESPN. I love that song too, says Robin Marks. Disney is having some problems. They're more. Oh yeah, by the way, Truex to retire. 48% saying no. 20% says only if he wins the title, and 31% saying yes. So 51% think he will retire. By default, 51% think he will retire if he wins the title, right? So, but 48% says no. So if he doesn't win the title, 48% thinking he won't retire. So there you go. Say Kyle, not Kyle. Disney is having some problems. They're marketing super hard in the Orlando area to locals. As we've all stopped going because prices have gotten insane. And of course, politics, wild time to be alive. Yeah, who would have thought in this day and age that Disney would be in financial trouble? Like, part of it is they put out movies, I guess, that don't appeal to a general market. They've made these real niche movies for certain groups. And so they're not making universal movies, whereas what Disney was known for back in the day was making family movies for everybody in the world could go watch and you get something out of it. They've skewed to sort of niche crowds, and it's really sort of bit them, is the best way to say it. And I'm not going to get into the details of that, but who would have thought? And by default, the only reason I'm speaking on that is they own ESPN. So because of that, ESPN is in trouble. ESPN had to fire a bunch of talent, and part of that could be why the SRX is not getting pumped up as much as it would be in a healthy ESPN from back in the day, back in the 90s when they made NASCAR racing as big as it is. They were a big part of making NASCAR as big as it is. Rainbow trout is the bestest, most tastiest, says Sha. Smoked rainbow trout. OJ and toothpaste. Would you eat a catfish omelet? I don't know. I never thought about it. Fish for breakfast. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not a big breakfast person anyway. Let's see here. Bass says Robin Marks. Big catfish. Trout. I like Cajun catfish. So that's my go-to. Smoked trout or salmon. I like blackened anything is pretty good. Blackened tuna is pretty good as well. Let's see here. Smoked trout or salmon, says Shah. The only thing I know about walleyes is they apparently eat while fillets and lead weights, says Say Kyle, not Kyle. Josh Strickland going with crappie there. So there you go. Trout and sturgeon, says one wise guy. Salmon. Justin Walker going with salmon. So salmon is an acquired taste. You either love it or you hate it. TJ Mooreshed going with New England clam chowder. That's an Ace Ventura. If you know, you know. That's from Ace Ventura, though. Elkfish, Ian Fisher. I've actually never had elkfish. Let's see here. Cobia says Sky Blazer. Never had that one. I've never actually heard of that one. New Jersey is the reason they can't find Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa. There's a 3-hour movie about Jimmy Hoffa and what they, I guess, moving the body. I forget what it was called, but it was it Scorsese? Was it a Scorsese film? Joker was 3 hours. Good grief. It had De Niro and Joe Pesci in it, though. So I watched it one time. I guess he was going for a world record on making a movie longer than Godfather. I have genetically spiced the trout with salmon, so that is my fave. Keep it on the down low. So there you go. the trout salmon, or the salmet. The salmet. I like it. I call them, says Shah. Josh Strickland, this is cool. Chat, mostly NASCAR, but many other turns. Yeah, we get distracted on here quite often, Josh. So you never know which way the chat is going to go, especially as hour 1 comes to a close. That's when we usually get into Earth 2 and what kind of cars and basically what kind of cars, and it's always something about like what we like to eat. So Harrison Burton, or sometimes wrestling on a very rare occasion. Harrison Burton can absolutely win Watkins Glen if every single other car has terminal engine failure. Says Say Kyle. So there you go. There's always, so you're saying there's a chance. That's another Jim Carrey reference. That's 2 for 2. Jim Carrey is from Canada. I get that one right. I got the South Park deal wrong the other day. That was pretty funny because I knew they were from Colorado, but for some reason I was thinking they're from Canada because I was like, why else would they get away from talking about Canada the way they talked about them? But Canadians just embraced them, and that was pretty cool. At least Canadians have a good sense of humor. Some of your best comedians have come from Canada. At least with any type of live racing, you don't have to worry about a actors or writers strike. I don't know. Everybody knows NASCAR is scripted. Brickyard Brickhead. That's what they say every year. NASCAR is scripted. Let's see. The Aussies are sending another good driver soon. The reason they're so, maybe I'll make a joke video about that. with the writer's strike, will we have a 2024 NASCAR season? The reason they're so good is that they start young with go-karts. It's amazing, little kids. Drone footage, etc. On YouTube. They're serious about racing. Yeah, for sure. There's a really good Richard Roxburgh. There's a Richard Roxburgh movie called Go-Karts, and it's an Australian movie, I think. But yeah, it's a really good movie. It's a kids movie. It's kind of like Sandlot for go-karts, but check it out. It's on Netflix. It's called Go-Karts. Richard Roxburgh. Look that up. Napa Racing Fan says, does Kentucky Speedway ever return? I say no. Too many better tracks to add to the schedule. I don't know, but Rand Paul, one of the politicians, was amping up for it because Kurt Busch was trending, and that's the reason Kurt Busch was trending, because they were talking about the great finish they got, and then there's never another race there. Just a cool place for race fans to hang out. Josh says, one wise guy. BB, when you buy Tony Stewart's house, you can have any fish you want. Tell YouTube to give you a raise. Is that the house? So his house in Indiana, is that the one that's got the stream going through it, or is that his house in North Carolina, over by Lake Gaston, maybe? I'm thinking he's got like a wildlife. It might be the wildlife preserve over there. He's got like a big cabin, I think, over there. That might be the one that has he has an actual river going through his house at that one. Josh Strickland, and I used to work pretty close to that house when I was working in the factory. Second, to one wise guy, too many remakes and sequel franchises. They all suck. I don't do many movies anymore, says Robin Marks. Walt Disney is the real company name, and it rocked. Pixar is crap now since Disney bought it. Yeah, so a lot of people haven't gotten into the newer movies they made. They had a awesome run with the Marvel movies, and even the Marvel movies aren't good anymore, according to a lot of people. I stopped watching them a long time ago, even when they were still good. I was just like, how many freaking Marvel movies are we gonna get? I just got exhausted from them. I was like, I can't keep up with this stuff. Let's see here. Dustin Walker, the new sponsorship deal, get as many possible that will be primarily sponsor 3 to 5 races. Probably the last Marvel movie I watched was Wonder Woman. And yeah, I just did that to trigger all the DC fans. That was a joke. That was one of those smooth jokes. Let's see here. The new sponsorship deal, get as many as possible that will primarily sponsor 3 to 5 races a year. Look at Byron with Liberty University, Martin Truex Jr. with Reesers, Bush with Lucas Oil, and the RFK teams, says Dustin Walker. Yeah, I agree with that, but for whatever reason, they didn't, like, Joe Gibbs didn't want to do that with Kyle Busch, so that's what I don't get. Like, I just feel like, in my opinion, they didn't want to keep Kyle Busch as bad as they said they wanted to keep Kyle Busch. They probably wanted to keep Kyle Busch if they could get Kyle Busch at a discount. Ace Ventura is goated simply because they put Cannibal Corpse in the movie. Says say Kyle, not Kyle. Also, Tone Loc was his best friend, and also Dan Marino would probably one of the best acting cameos from an athlete of all time. Cooking catfish as we speak, says Mark Barnum. Oh man, that makes me so jealous. Put some Cajun on it for me, brother. The Irishman. That's it. I appreciate you, Robin Marks. That's the name of that movie, and I think it was Scorsese that made it. The Irishman with Pesci and De Niro, and they used the creepy face technology that makes them look young and then super old again. The thing that put the sport on the map, killed millions of people, and that was Winston RJR. RJ Reynolds Company, says Stephen Emilio Jr. Yeah, they took it to one level, but I'm talking about as far as coverage. When it was put on ESPN, that's when it started reaching like a lot more people, just because their coverage was so good. But yeah, that's a fair point. The Winston Cup money was for sure very helpful. Josh H. Crappy is the best eating. It will make you push your granny in the creek. We are talking fish because Truex wants to go fishing, says Robin Marks. Hey, there you go. It all ties in. I heard the U.S. recommends catching and eating Asian carp because they're invasive to the country, says TJ Moorshed. Is that the snakehead? Is that the snakehead fish? Is that the one we're talking about there? I think we call them snakeheads down here. Food, fast vehicles, music, beer, all favorite topics, says Shah, for sure. Did you know Austin Hill will race the number 7 for Spire? I did see that. That's pretty cool. In the truck series this weekend at Pocono. So yeah, he's got a good chance. Always truck series. Absolutely. Brickyard, says Josh Strickland. I used to really not like Brad Kay, was a hothead. Texas 2014 with Gordon and Charlotte, 2014 with Kansas. Not a fan, but impressed with the Roush turnaround. He's upgraded to neutral. 8 and 22, the only two I dislike. So not a Kyle Busch or Joey Logano fan for Napa. Got you there, brother. Let's see. I forgot loose women. I love fast women, says Shy. Loose is fast and on the edge out of control. Sometimes crazy. So I don't know. I saw something online where Jim Carrey was almost the lead actor for Jurassic Park. Oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine that. Oh man, that would be Jurassic Park with Jim Carrey. That would be pretty good. He's a really good serious actor too, though. Jim Carrey is an Ontario boy, Newmarket, played lacrosse and hockey there. So there you go. There you go. Canadian Bacon with John Candy was just on. Oh, John Candy was the man. We lost him too soon. That dude was hilarious. Rush loves South Park. Thus, all of Canada must love South Park. Getty and Alex even showed up at South Park concert last year and sang closer to South Park. It was pretty awesome. Hey, there you go. Shy saying loose is fast. Hey, so there you go. We're on the same wavelength there, here today. Dawson Fair, hi, Baloney Burger. How was your day today? Doing good, Dawson Fair. Hope you're doing good as well. John Candy was the greatest human being to have lived, says Robin Marks. Hey, there you go. Pushing the limit here. Phil, LOL, says Shy. Let's see here. Yeah, as long as we keep it in good taste. It's tongue in cheek right now. And it's after 9 o'clock, so we're good. The children should be in bed, in my opinion. Now I'm telling people how to parent. That son of a gun. That South Park concert special was great, especially the Rush part. Rest in peace. Yeah, for sure. Neil Peart, one of the best drummers. Hey, there you go. Napa Race fan saying Neil Peart. Neil Peart, one of the best drummers, if not the best drummer to ever be around. A lot of people think. I'm not as far as drums go, I'm not a musical expert. So, but everybody does say he was like the best drummer of all time. I feel like EB would slap me if she were here. Maybe. She keeps us in line when she's here. So hopefully we're not being too offsides or anything like that. 2023, Bush 3, Joe Gibbs Racing 4. So there you go. Might be 5 because Truex has 3, right? And doesn't how many does Christopher Bell have? 1 or 2? So it's either 4 or 5. So there you go. But yeah, Gibbs is up right now on Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is tied with Truex. So it's getting intense in the Busch versus Truex battle. Forgot to put that in the video, so I'll have to amend the next video I'm making and throw that in there sideways. Let's see, Lakeside Park. So many memories. I took a girlfriend there. I drank beer there, and I'm going to tear up. So there you go. Robin Marks in his memories here today. Why watch Disney when you can watch BB? I'm not Disney level entertainment, but I appreciate you, Jay Campbell. Dev Finch, hey, you have Twitter? Yep, I'm on Twitter. Baloneyburger84, that's me. Truex wants to go fishing in the ocean and catch a grander, says Benjamin Lewis. Who needs to watch cartoons when you can watch BB, says William Wagaman. I appreciate you, man. Asian carp are the ones that jump, says Mark Barnum. I'm still mad at BK for dumping the Flames of Independence 24 scheme in freaking practice. Horse face, as he's known in our house. So there you go. How do I find out how much money drivers make and how much sponsors are, says Josh Strickland. Well, the latest data we ever had was from when Furniture Row closed up, and they said Gibbs wanted $26 million per year. So just factor in $26 million to run a full-time Cup Series team, and I don't know how you figure out how much the drivers make. Being an older driver, they would make more money because they signed their contracts under the old school when money was flowing and wasn't like it is now. So older drivers are getting a lot, younger drivers are getting a lot less. So we'll have to see how it plays out. John Candy, greatest human ever, who also played the devil in Home Alone. LOL, says say Kyle, not Cal. I liked Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck was probably my favorite John Candy movie. Let's see. LOL, BB giving parenting tips, says one wise guy. Who finally wins a Daytona 500 first, Kyle Busch or Martin Truex Jr.? I'm going to go Kyle Busch there, but I feel like more people are going to say Martin Truex Jr. But I don't know. Neil Peart is your favorite drummer's favorite drummer. He wasn't a drummer. He was the professor, absolute goat, says Say Kyle, not Cal. So there you go. BB, you have far exceeded Disney Carp, says Shaw. Working on the mini documentary. I am working on a couple of them, actually. I'm in the writing phase. I haven't filmed anything yet, but I'm in the writing phase. They're going to be a little bit longer than you're used to. So we'll see. We'll have to see how it works out. And I'm trying to line up some people to talk to when I make my trips and do that deal. So there will be traveling involved too. It will be like some on-site stuff. It's going to be for YouTube, at least me, my YouTube level. It's going to be a big production for me. So we'll have to see how it goes. Dawson Fair, I did not. So John Candy was Canada's uncle. For sure. Great Outdoors was a classic for sure. I got to go put my daughter to bed this afternoon, says Josh Strickland. So there you go. Got to put the kiddos to sleep there. Let's see. EB might be bad when she finds out she missed Cannibal Corpse and Neil Peart both coming up in the same stream. Yeah, she's for sure a music head. So she'll definitely want to jump in there. Daryl with SRX should be entertaining. Says Brickyard Brickhead. So there you go. That's the Boogity Boogity is what I'm actually looking forward to hear again. Dawson Fair, can I smell your hat? Sniff away, man. Friggin' USA takes all Canada talent and calls it their own. Very irritating. Elon is the wordest lost. Elon is the worst loss, I guess. I don't know. John Candy was also the security guard at Wally World for sure. That was a sneaky cameo. National Lampoon's Vacation and in Spaceballs. And yeah, gosh, what was the movie? Chris Farley was a security guard in a movie where he's like, I need you to get out of this vector and move to this quadrant. God, what movie was that? Oh, man. Was it Wayne's World? I think it was Wayne's World. Chris Farley was like the security guy in Wayne's World 1. Right there. Can I smell your glasses? It's so weird, Dawson. Strange questions. Let's see here. Stephen Emilio Jr. Jr. is calling the shots at NBC last week. He said his show is that he didn't like calling the beginning of the race on pit road. What do you know of this week? They're back in the booth. I don't know. I mean, he's got a lot of sway. He's like one of the more popular people. What's funny about Junior, though, at least as far as YouTube goes, Haley Deegan has like way more followers than Junior on that. So, but it is pretty funny. But he does have a lot of pull. Like, obviously, he's got the most pull in NASCAR. YouTube numbers aside, but I've always found it like pretty funny that Haley Deegan has more followers on YouTube or subscribers. I'm sorry, on YouTube than the Dirty Mo thing that he's got going on. So it's kind of just weird but true. One of those weird but true facts. Stat of the day. Let's see here. Shaw says, Dawson, what is up with you smelling things? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. There's probably a word for that where you enjoy smelling things. So that's that. Dawson Fair says, I don't know. He just likes to smell things. So it's different, but it's all good. All are welcome here. If any country deserves a NASCAR race, it's Canada. Yeah. I think there's probably more. I feel like there's probably more Canadian NASCAR fans maybe than anywhere else that's not the United States, but I don't know. I'd have to actually look up a poll. So that's just a feeling, I guess I should say. So I need to look that up. But I am curious. To see what outside country has the most NASCAR fans. And then who has the most NASCAR fans per capita? Farley was a security guard in Wayne's World. You're correct. Hey, I finally remembered something right. My brain is working. Thank the Lord. One wise guy, Wayne's World. So there you go. I actually remembered something. A rare moment of quality when I remember something non-racing related. Say Kyle, not Cal. When I was a wee little boy, I wanted to grow up to be Garth Algar. At your service. Say Kyle, not Cal. It's party time. Excellent, says Napa Racing fan. Yep. Crazy that was a skit on Saturday Night Live, and it became two movies that just became super big and awesome. What movie with John Candy with the big gun and gave it to a trucker that called him Slim? That might have been Uncle Buck. I remember that. It might have been Canadian Bacon too, though. I don't know. I remember the scene you're talking about, Brickyard, but I can't call. I can't call them. I can't call the movie. Black Sheep was funny. Yeah, Black Sheep and Tommy Boy was super funny. I like both of those, and I also, for whatever reason, I thought, God, what was the ninja movie? What was the ninja? But the ninja movie that Chris Farley was in, I like that one too. Josh Strickland, Scratch and Sniff. Black Sheep was funny. Says one wise guy. Yeah, for sure. Catfish and fries. Catfish and fries is pretty much undefeated. Fish and chips, I think, is what it's called overseas, or at least in England, maybe Britain. We'll see. Sorry, but it is true, says Shy. I miss John Candy and Chris Farley, says T Van. Yeah, they were two comedic geniuses. Farley was awesome. So yeah, you can actually look up a Chris Farley commercial that a lot of people forgot about. Back in the day, ESPN had Chris Farley remake sports scenes and stuff like that. And they had him do the Christian Laettner shot from the Final Four when they beat Kentucky. Hollywood Ninja. Thank you, one wise guy. But yeah, Chris Farley did the Christian Laettner. He did like a recap. So look it up. It's on YouTube. So there you go. Say Kyle says, I feel like Black Sheep and Tommy Boy blend together in my memory banks. Oh, for sure. They for sure. To me, I liked Tommy Boy better. Black Sheep was more of a more David Spade heavy, but I felt like Tommy Boy was more Chris Farley heavy, and I like David Spade. David Spade's hilarious. Like Joe Dirt speaks for itself. But yeah, I thought Tommy Boy was slightly better. So in my hierarchy, I would have Tommy Boy over Black Sheep. I smell a poll. You guys want to do that as a poll question? Let's do that as a poll question. Better Chris Farley movie. I'm just going to say better because I'm not going to say favorite. In a van down by the river. Oh yeah, so that's there's still T-shirts to this day about that. Napa Racing Fan. I live in a van down by the river. The motivational speaker dude, like that was yeah, that was definitely one of his best skits on Saturday Night Live. Beverly Hills Ninja, says one wise guy. Yeah, I love that movie. Armed and Dangerous, about the big gun, says Dev Finch. Appreciate you, Finch, for sure. I never even thought about it was being armed and dangerous. But yeah, that's the John Candy movie where he hands the gun to the dude, and the dude calls John Candy Slim. One wise guy, sorry. You're all good, brother. Dawson Fair, I can't believe it's been 2 months since Bubba Wallace flipped somebody off. Says Dawson Fair. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure he flips somebody off every week. That's just his go-to gesture in the car. Sometimes it's an angry middle finger. Sometimes it's a terms of endearment amongst friends middle finger, but he's a middle finger guy. There's a lot of drivers do the middle finger thing. That was in my opinion overblown. We're not going to talk about Bubba Wallace. That gets stuff off the rails and gets things negative more often than it gets things positive. I just didn't like Tommy Boy because as a Kyle Larson framed kid in school, everyone wanted to take my hoodies and yell fat guy in a little coat. It got old really fast. Yeah. But don't forget about the part where David Spade smoked him in the face with the 2x4. What's he say? Oh, what's wrong? Him just a little guy or something like that. And then he gets smoked in the face. And then he's got the mark on his face. And he's like, it doesn't hurt here or so much here, but right here. And there's a huge mark. And David Spade's like, don't see a thing. Let's see here. Ryan Fussner, what's up, BB and amigos? I had to work. Right now, Tommy Boy is winning the poll. Had to work and didn't get a chance to watch the race. And when I went to watch it last night, the recording of Law and Order. Oh, crap. That sucks, Ryan Fussner. SVU from the rainout slot and not the actual race. Man, that is the worst, dude. I've had that happen to me before, too. Back when I was working in the factory, I had that happen several times, and I had to just wait like the extra day for it to be on YouTube and then watch it that way. But if you go to the YouTube channel, it should be up to date, so you should be able to watch it today. Matt Foley. My name is Matt Foley, and I am a motivational speaker. Napa Racer fan. My name is Earl. Oh, my name is Earl. That's my go-to. That's either that or The Good Place is probably my all-time favorite modern-ish. We'll say past 2000, past 2004 sitcom. Let's see. Poll idea: ugliest modern era NASCAR Cup Series maker model. Ryan Foster. Yeah, we've actually done that before, and I think we came up with. Oh no, we didn't. No, we didn't. Yeah, we can do that one. Let me let this poll run out. So I'll leave this one up for a couple more minutes, and then we'll close that one out. Middle finger is like the F word. It can mean a lot of things. Yeah. So if you want to see something, Shah says very versatile. Yeah. So if you want to see something funny, look up Bob Knight's F word versatile. It's a funny little speech he gave when he thought the camera was turned off. Do you think Chris Buescher wins? What you feel about Bob Knight or not? If you listen to the speech, it is a funny speech. Do you think Chris Buescher wins a NASCAR Cup race this year and gets a second win for RFK Racing? I think he can get another win. Either him, I will say this: I think either him or Brad Keselowski are going to get a win for RFK this year. I feel like RFK is going to win this year, but it'll be one or the other. So flip a coin. If YouTube had the finger, I would use it all the time. Says Shaw. Yeah. So if the down button was the finger, I would actually encourage you guys to hit the finger. But it's not. So it's not. But if you want to hit the thumbs up button, it would be much appreciated. But don't feel pressured to. Does the 23 still have a year left on his contract? I'm not sure what his contract status is, but I think they're going to re-sign him just because he brings in all that sponsor money. I don't see him turning that down, and he does win races. So, I mean, if you replace him, you got to replace him with somebody better that brings in the same level of sponsor money. So, I don't know if that person is out there right now. Yeah, I don't see them replacing him as of this moment. What YouTube channel for the race repeat? NASCAR on NBC, or I think you can just go to NASCAR. Like the regular NASCAR channel, I think also has it. The Chad, Tom Green, also Canadian. Yeah. Tom Green, definitely a Canadian. The Tom Green Show was awesome back in the day. He's got a podcast now where he basically drives around in his truck with Charlie the Pot Cake Dog, and they have a pretty good time. Pretty good podcast from his truck. Ford Taurus, says Benjamin Lewis. Yeah, that first Ford Taurus that they popped in there was, to me, definitely the ugliest. Second ugliest to me is going to be the Chevrolet Lumina. National Lampoon's Vacation will be 40 on July 27th. That's crazy. I can't believe that movie's that old and still holds up so well. YouTube is great. We can watch just about any race you want to, says Josh Strickland. Yeah, that's for sure. They've even got like Riverside races and stuff like that on there. NASCAR's YouTube page for the rebroadcast. So, yeah, it's the NASCAR YouTube page. Appreciate you, one wise guy. Thanks, wise guy, says Ryan Fuster. And that's the great thing about this community. Like, if anybody has a question, like, everybody chips in. Like, I want to give you guys a shout out for that, man. Like, when anybody has a question, like, we just always, like, jump in. You guys always jump in. And if I don't have the answer, you guys have the answer. So I appreciate y'all having my back on that. Y'all are awesome. And that's what makes this channel fun, to be honest with you. Oh my God, I forgot about Tom Green. He fell off the map, but my God, he was certifiably insane. Says say Kyle, not Kyle. My bum is on the rail. Let's see here. One wise guy, welcome. You remember Tom Green from the Road Trip movie? That was one of the better Tom Green appearances in a movie, I think. Still, Wayne's World 2 is greater than Wayne's World. Oh, there we go. A little controversy. I should have had a trilogy of movies. They probably would have if Austin Powers hadn't have taken off the way Austin Powers took off. I love how BB tells people not to be pressured about the like button way more than I ever did when I used to telemarket. Laughing my butt off. It was always high pressure. Say Kyle, not Kyle. What team do you think steps up a level next year? I think without a doubt, like, it's just going to be so easy for Legacy Motor Club to step up, right? They just had such a bad season. I think next year with factory support, they're a stone cold lead pipe lock to step up. If you want to go to one of the smaller teams, I think you see either Spire step up, and because I think Andretti is going to buy into them. Nothing I've seen or anything, just a feeling. So probably those would be on my top 2 list. Wayne's World 2 was solid, but man, the original was a quotable gold mine. My favorite part of Wayne's World 2 was when they talk about not selling out, and every time they say something, like he'll hold up a Pepsi, and then they hold up the bag of Doritos. That was without a doubt my favorite part of Wayne's World 2. That and Tia Carrera, she's a smoke show. Let's see. My Name is Earl had the worst series. Oh my gosh, you're right, Napa Racing Fan. To be continued, only to never be continued. Yep. I would. There is. So if you chase the lore long enough, the director does say how he was going, which direction he was going to go in the show. So in the future of that show, they would have eventually transitioned it to where Earl wasn't just going through his list. He was eventually going to have all the people that were following him and stuff. They had made their list, and he was going to start assisting them. So like at some point, Randy was going to switch over, and he was going to assist Randy. At some point, Joy would have switched over, and he would have helped Joy, so on and so forth. But man, I really wanted to see where they were going with the Crabman angle too. Like that was, he never mentioned what he was going to do with the Crabman angle. So yeah, unfortunately, they left it on a cliffhanger, but he did at least explain the direction he was going to go with it. In my opinion, this is the best NASCAR community on YouTube. Thank you as well, BB. I appreciate you, Ryan Fussner. And sorry to go off on that Earl tangent. I'm just a big My Name is Earl fan, so I'll try to rein it in. Did you hear YouTube star Annabelle passed away? I wasn't familiar with her, Dawson, but I did see that, and that's very unfortunate. From what I saw, I guess she had a seizure or something like that. I've also seen a car crash, but either way, just horrible. So thoughts and prayers go out to her family, because that's just terrible. She was definitely very young, in her 20s, had her whole life in front of her. So whenever something like that happens, just very unfortunate. So yeah, for sure, I did see that though, Dawson Fair. Sellout was from the original, thus cementing it as a superior movie. Says Say Kyle. Hey, there you go. So that was that in the original movie? I didn't know that. Best part of Wayne's World was the chick slamming the car. Says Mark Barnum. Arrested Development's original season was hysterical. Literally begging HBO and Showtime to pick up the show. Says Say Kyle. Not Cal. Yeah, that was Arrested Development was pretty cool because it went to it was kind of like Family Guy. Family Guy had to bounce around a couple times too. Before it caught on. Every car should have and I did look up the Family Guy South Park beef, by the way. It is legit, but it is over with. The South Park creator said it was more one-sided because they were just irritated with the lazy writing on Family Guy's side. Every car should have a licorice dispenser. The old Pacer. You remember the stretch Pacer? That was pretty funny too. Let's see. I have to give benefit of the doubt about Chase Elliott. He's good at Pocono. I'm a skeptic at heart, and will double check my work. He won last year. I loved Earl. It's philosophy. Always question yourself. Yeah, and that was the other part about Earl. It was wholesome, and it made you think. Like even if you weren't like into karma or anything like that, it just gave you good feelings and made you think about stuff. They say they concluded Earl on Raising Hope with a news story of a man completing his list on the show. That's a cop-out in my opinion. Yep, it was a cop-out, but at least they tried to do something. Like they tried to work something in since NBC didn't pick them up. Because the ratings they were getting, they never thought NBC would cancel them, but NBC canceled them and nobody else ever picked them up. I would like to see a movie one day. And hopefully very soon, because Earl's going to need a wig at this point, unfortunately, because Jason Lee, he doesn't have the lettuce he once had as Earl. So hopefully they make a movie pretty soon, but they're going to need some hair and makeup there. Sad she passed away, says Dawson Fair. I don't know. Is she like a fake person? I don't know. I don't get the laughing emojis. Let's see here. Chase misses the chase. Says Shaw. Stick a fork in Chase. He's done. Says one wise guy. Isn't Pocono a Toyota track? Pocono is typically goes Toyota. I don't know about Chase. I still feel like Chase is like 50-50. Tommy Boy at 95% right now. I'm only rooting for Chase right now because his spotter's parents are my clients. So there you go. Let's see here. Have you seen Earl's brother recently? Ethan Suppley? Yeah. he's lost the weight and is jacked. He did a complete 180 with his health. Yeah, so he lifts weights every day. And the most famous picture, he's got these socks on with chicken legs on them, and his baggy shorts hang over them. So they're black socks, but it makes it look like he's got actual chicken legs. So it's pretty funny. Still has a good sense of humor about it. But yeah, he's absolutely really gotten into lifting weights and weightlifting, and he looks completely different. So he would have to have some hair and makeup as well. Good point there. Allen needs to make a strategy call at Watkins Glen to clinch. I don't see the raw speed for him to be running up front at Watkins Glen. What they need to do at Watkins Glen is focus on points. They need to go out there and get as many stage points as they can get, and then they finish wherever they finish in the race. Like they just got to go out there and get the stage 2 points and the stage 1 points. That's what Gus needs to do there. Just once, I would like to someone else to get a favorite driver fan vote. Says Shaw. Well, maybe he'll do what his dad did and just pull his name from the list one year. Dale Jr., Chase, come on, peeps. Says Shaw. That Jones boy runs well at Pocono. He does. I just don't know with the lack of factory support if they're going to have the setup. But they've been at least close on a few random occasions this year. They've back to back some top 15s recently. But hopefully he gets it done. I'm always pulling for a 43 win. Don't get me wrong. I want to see some good short track racing. Look at Taylor Kuehl Racing's page. So there you go. Check out Taylor Kuehl. They've got some good, if you want to see some good short track stuff. Appreciate you there, Mark Marnham. My Name is Earl is my favorite comedy of all time. And if you want to, Mark, because you got the little wrench there, you can post that page in here so people can more easily find Taylor Kuehl. My Name is Earl is my favorite comedy of all time. It felt so real. It was fictional, obviously, but the storytelling was so good it drew you in. Even though it was like a goofy comedy, it was so wholesome that the storytelling just drew you in. It kind of had like a Andy Griffin Mayberry. You just fell in love with all those characters. You didn't want to see anything bad happen to them. But even some of the most outrageous parts of the show, you could see happening to someone. Yeah, for sure. But whatever the most popular, it is what it is, says Shaw. Ethan Suppley doesn't even look like Randy anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There would have to be significant hair and makeup, or they would have to explain why he is looks like a monster right now. The dude's in great shape, and good for him, man. Like, that's awesome. I did like Popular Peeps. I dislike Popular Peeps, says Shaw. So there you go. Nothing wrong with being a contrarian. It's all good. They tend to be lazy jerks, says Shaw. So you're on the good-looking people are born on easy mode gang. I understand, Shaw. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe we can get the BB Army to vote Ty Dillon or Harrison Burton, the most popular driver award. I'm aiming for Ryan Blaney because I feel like if you get enough votes behind Ryan Blaney, we could pull the upset there. Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, maybe Kyle Larson. Like those three, maybe Kyle Busch now. Those four, if we organize the group, if we organize all of the YouTubers to get all of their channel members to vote for, or subscribers, I should say, to vote for one specific driver, we could possibly upset Chase Elliott. We'll have to work something behind the scenes or something. I'll try to get in touch with somebody and see if we can make that happen next year. After Sunday night, because it's not going to be my channel. I don't have enough to sway that vote. But maybe if we get everybody together, we can get something to happen. After Sunday night, I've been watching King of the Hill all day. Hey, there you go, Brickyard. Next year's Toyota will be a serious contender, says one wise guy. I think so too. I think Legacy Motor Club is going to have a big jump in performance because people forget how good they were getting last year. And this year, obviously, a different situation because they lost factory support. But I could see them coming out guns blazing next season. I wonder what does the voting, does a regular Joe or farmer type vote for most popular? I doubt it. I mean, that's probably a fair question. They have never showed the breakdown for how many votes any one person gets, much less where those votes came from. There are 3 girls racing in the NASCAR ARCA Menard Series this weekend at Pocono. Blendenberger, Tony Behringer, Logan Murasaka, and Stephanie Moyer. So there you go. All those could be bumped up at some point, and you can also see a rivalry amongst girls, which would add another layer to the storytelling that is NASCAR if they all race trucks together at some point. Plus, votes can be manipulated, says Shaw. LOL. So yeah, those Dominion isn't it Dominion? Those Dominion voting things that I probably just got a yellow mark. That you do the NASCAR voting on. Yeah, and that's a joke, by the way. That's just a joke. So don't anybody lose it over that. Ty and Harrison both seem nice and likable. Respect for Ty not wanting to totally like his grandpa's money. Cough cough. Other Ty. So Earth 2, he gets my vote. So there you go. My Name is Earl is on Hulu, I think, maybe Peacock. I just bought both of the seasons, or all 3 or 4 of the seasons, or how many seasons it was. I bought them on Amazon, so I just watch them that way. Since it was an NBC show, I don't know though. Let's see here. Most 20th Century Fox shows are on Hulu, which Earl was. So there you go. Appreciate it, Napa. Says, say Kyle, not Cal. Let's do Blaney, because even if he wins over Byron, William is still working Ryan's sister. So it's win-win. So there you go. If you want to see Taylor's channel, it's right there. The channel is put up there by Mark. Appreciate you there, Mark. I whistle the Andy Griffith all the time. I did it with my kid as we walked on dirt road to go catfishing. 2 on the nose. That's exactly what you do. I do it all the time when I get bored at work and there's nobody around. And then sometimes people will walk up to me and be like, "What is that song? I know it from somewhere." I was like, let me do the whole thing. I bet you get it. And a lot of times, sadly enough, I have to tell them what it is. And they're like, oh, yeah. That's the Andy Griffith song. I'm still confused on why The Office was so popular. I never got into The Office either. Either version, like the British version or the U.S. version with Steve Carell. If it was in Dwight Schrute was pretty funny, but other than that, it was just it was too dry. Office would have been axed to save Earl. It should have been. It was, in my opinion, Earl was a much better show. But I know that's controversial. The Office is loved by so many people. It wasn't for me. Just having Eric Jones, all people want to talk about is, oh, look at how they filmed it. It's like they filmed it with one camera. It's a one camera show. I was like, okay, they filmed it with one camera, but is it good? So let's see here. Just having Eric Jones in a Toyota will be an improvement. Well, I think they're going to get better equipment too, not just a Toyota, but he's getting 6th or 7th best Chevrolet equipment. He'll be in at least 5th or 6th best Toyota equipment, in my opinion. Do you think Frankie Munoz gets a win in ARCA? I think before it's said and done, he gets one, but I hope he gets one this year. Unpopular opinion: The Office is super overrated. Says, yeah, I'm with you. I don't like it. Do you like to listen to country music? I listen to all music. Dawson Fair. Johnny Cash is the best. Johnny Cash is definitely good. Totally agree. Say Kyle, not Kyle. The Office had good actors except Steve Carell. Straight up rip off of the British show. Yeah, I think Ricky Gervais had something to do with it. So he was behind the scenes on it. Only good thing that came from The Office is it introduced the world to Ricky Gervais, says Kim Bogus. Let's see. Bogus. I can't say. I used to say your last name right. Now I can't remember it. Bogus. I'm thinking. I watched The Office when it was on NBC once or twice. I didn't laugh once. Says Napa Racing Fan. The Office was overrated. Malcolm or Earl? I got Earl over Malcolm. Malcolm over The Office. I loved them both. Says Robin Marks. The Office was such a ripoff. Says Shaw. Munoz, I'm cheering for. Earl was good. Office was meh. F. Now I'm jinxed. Says Shaw. Someone listen to all music. He plays Infinite Annihilator. I laugh maniacally. Says Say Kyle. I listen to all music. I don't say I enjoy all music, but I do listen to all music. I give anything a chance. Let's see here. Coast Contra has been my newest jam that I've been listening to. Trailer Park Boys, that's the show, Ricky. Trailer Park Boys, definitely for sure. All-timer, Trailer Park Boys. We talk about that in the short track community quite often amongst the Peyton Sellers. If you're familiar with Peyton Sellers, a lot of the guys that work on his crew are big Trailer Park Boys fans. So there's your inside info. Ricky Gervais is freaking hilarious, honest, and a middle finger guy. Says Shaw. Malcolm was kind of weird, but I liked it. Malcolm in the Middle was good. I just liked Earl better, but Earl was great for sure. Malcolm was my family. Earl were my family's friends or friends' family. See you guys on Sunday, says one wise guy. Appreciate you hanging out with us, wise guy. Smoke, let's go. Still quoted to this day with my friend group. Says Say Kyle, not Cal. Like to see BB listening to EDM music. I got Prodigy. I've got the original EDM band that broke it open. I got Prodigy. I was listening to them the other day. Firestarter. And the B word song that they got, that's pretty good. So yeah, I've listened to EDM before. All right, looking like we're getting to the end of it. I'll stay on here just a few more minutes. Close out this poll, maybe. My kid just got into Prodigy, says Robin Marks. To be continued. Says Never Race Man. Yeah, that was the absolute worst part about Earl. No doubt about it. This channel is good, says Dev. Thank you so much, Dev Finch. I appreciate that. Thank you for being on here. You guys are actually what makes it. So thank you for being on here. I'm going to spend some time with the wife. Have a good night, everyone. Appreciate the time, BB. No problem there. I say, Kyle, I like William Byron. Do you? Blendenberger. Yeah, William Byron's a good driver. He's won a bunch of races. He has continued the streak of the 24 car, winning just about every race that I attend in Martinsville. So he has taken that mantle back up for old Jeff Gordon. Thanks from Lake Wyanoka, Idaho. I hope I said that right. Brickyard. Ken says, I don't feel bad. No one outside of West Virginia can say it correctly. Bogus. So Bogus. I was close-ish on one of those guesses. And even where people miss, LOL, is how you pronounce it. So there you go. I appreciate you, Kim Bogus. I'll try to have it memorized for next time. Willie B is my pick for the championship this year. So many horses, horseshoes, and talent. Yeah, Willie B's definitely got to be your strong pick. Like I said, him, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and I got Kyle Larson in there as well. But you can put whoever you want to in that fourth spot. Those first three, I feel like are pretty well locked in. I know it makes me want to cry. What next? Can he finish? I want to cheer now. I just hope, I hope Noah Gragson can get a finish here sometime soon. He's had a rough go of it. Dev Finch, my first time on a live stream. Oh, well, I'm glad to have you. I'll try to, I've been getting slack on advertising what time they are and having them. So I'll try to get back on track with letting people know when they are. But they are normally every Tuesday at 8 o'clock and every Sunday before the race. And I try to do Sunday after the race as long as I'm in town. But good to have you on here, and glad this was your first experience and you liked it. Thanks, BB. Just got here, but Sunday was a good stretch. Says E. Damon. Yeah, I think close to like 5 hours. I think I looked at it. I was close to either 4 or 5 hours we streamed over the course of the weekend. Will someone send their wife over so I can spend time with her? Says Mark Barnum. Not touching that one. Willie, just the mojo. Yeah, he's got good mojo this year for sure. Are you doing Martinsville Speedway this October, Blendenberger? I am, Dawson Fair. I will be there this October. So if you're there, I'll try to let everybody know where I'm going to be at so we can have a meetup. I'll try to copy what Bob Pockers does, and I'll try to find a place where we can all meet up in a time. If you want to come out, or I'll just stand there by myself and look like a guy standing there by himself. Shah says, got to go, I guess. Let's see. Earl, one of the best ever. Movie Office Space. Office Space was good. Have you seen my stapler? TV's Office was horrible. Mark Barnum, even when they're tearing up the fax machine or whatever, and they're playing the It Feels Good to Be a Gangster song, that's pretty funny too. Mark Barnum, only if you promise to keep her. Oh man, y'all are getting rough on the wives there. Let's see. I like your videos, Dev Finch. I appreciate it. I do my best on the videos, and I do my best here. So I'm glad. What I'm doing is coming through well. Office Space was good, says Robin Marks. Office Space is definitely a good movie. LOL Shy. Another reason why Mike Judge is the GOAT, adult animation and Office Space. Oh, I forgot he did Office Space. Good pickup there, Napa. Tom Cruise was a really good driver back in the day in the mellow yellow car. Yeah, no doubt about it. LOL, BB skipped me. He is learning. I skipped you. I got thee. I don't know. I don't know which one I skipped. Which one did I skip? I don't know. Let's see. Do you think Daniel Suarez wins this year? Yeah, I do think Daniel Suarez has a good chance of winning a race this year. I don't know if he will. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think he's got a good chance. Like I said, he really impressed me at North Wilkesboro when he jumped into a late model and was on the money driving a late model. I was really surprised by that. Have you started a bitter argument amongst my friends with your poll? Good job, says Josh Shaw. Thank you. That's what we're here for, to cause controversy in the entertainment world and talk about NASCAR. He did say it. Says Shaw. Hey, there you go. See, I try not to skip any. If I do, it's some stint. Dev Finch. Hey, I'm following you on Twitter. I appreciate you. When I get off here, I will follow you back. Would Ricky Bobby be a good driver on Earth 2? For sure. I hate that movie. So on Earth 2, Ricky Bobby would be the greatest movie of all time. I hate that movie because I feel like they're making fun of NASCAR fans instead of laughing with us. I just watched Beavis and Butthead do America last night. Randomly forgot how good Judge was. Yeah, he was the man back in the day when he was on top of his game. I have to cheer Suarez. Trackhouse rules. Yeah, Suarez is a good dude. And my friends that work with him on the late model side said he's a really nice dude and he's a heck of a wheel man. All right, that looks like the last one. King of the Hill greater than Beavis and Butthead slightly, says Napa Racing fan. So that is going to be the last one. Thank y'all for hanging out. It was fun as always, and I will catch you this Sunday on the next live stream, and I'll make some more videos for the week. Peace.